Hi everyone, I'm Squid, and today we're going to be doing some proper hypothesis testing with Hyperroll and the percentage chance of where you need to finish to get top 4. So if you haven't guessed it, this is a big data episode, and I'll be going through how I've modeled Hyperroll along with the benefits and drawbacks of that model. If this isn't something that interests you, please feel free to use the chapters below to jump to the results, which will be the interesting bit. So if you're watching this bit, either you haven't clicked the chapter or you really are a data aficionado. Either way, I'm grateful, and yes, I've created a model, albeit incredibly basic, for TFT Hyperroll to see where the distribution of players, when eliminated, would occur. First, I had to play a game of TFT to list and identify the combat rounds. This model assumes you're not going to lose a PvE round. Now, in the game I was using to find the rounds, I accidentally won, so I wasn't able to get to round 11, but I know that's the auto kill rounds, so if you get to that point, there's probably going to be one or two left anyways, so it's not included in this model. To make this simple, I used Google Sheets to build a Monte Carlo simulation. Monte Carlo means I'm doing the game fully and then adding up all the results at the end, and it's a powerful way to kind of brute force calculations. So how mine works is I have a table purely for calculating the health at each stage of combat. Then I have a block for each round where players go against each other. These are labeled player A to player H for simplicity. Now this is where the magic happens. Each player will generate a random number between 0 to 1. Whoever has the larger number wins. And then where it says R1 health, R2, R3 health, it uses an if statement to check who the winning player was. If they did win, their health stays the same. If they weren't, they will lose their health value, which is at the top of the sheet. Now for those of you who are keen-eyed, you will have noticed that the health goes into the negative and continues to do so. Now of course, if that happened in a game of Hyperroll, well, you'd be eliminated, so you'd have left and queued up for another. Now the reason it happens in this model is, well, it was too complicated to create the specific situations when a player was eliminated. That is not the power of this quick and dirty Google Sheet version. So they've just been left in. But from some empirical evidence from when I played Hyperroll, the results from this do closely align to real life. So I would say it's a strong model. And to get the results in the end, which are the ones that are copied and pasted, I use a H lookup, the horizontal companion of the V lookup, to find when their health first goes below or equal to 0. Then that will provide the stage that they went out in. I copy and paste that information to create the table that you are about to see. So it's time for the results, and the first thing we see is that the data falls into a normal distribution. And I would say this is a good sign, because for those who don't know, a normal distribution is the way most things in life follow. They follow this pattern of a big spike in the middle and tapering at either end. The peak of this graph is between 9.2 to 9.3. So if you're able to get past those few rounds and into round 10, you're more than likely to be in the top 4. How do I know this? Well, I was able to calculate the percentages for each bar and added them up. So at 9.2, 27% of players would be eliminated. At 9.3, 44% of players would be eliminated. And at 10.2, 60% of players are eliminated. So you want to be able to get through those crucial rounds if you consistently want to make top 4 finishes. Now, I do think it is interesting to note that there was a big drop at 10.4 down, but then a jump up at 10.5. I'd like to think that this implies that this is, on average, the last round of the game, and this is where the winner is most likely to occur. At the very end of the table, you have NA. This is the rare occasions when in the model a player made it to round 11. And I'm just going to say, if you can make it to round 11 in Hyperroll, the winner or top 2 at the minimum. So next time you're in your Hyperroll games, you've got a good basis to aim for each game to guarantee you that top 4 slot. Now obviously doing it in practice is much harder than making a Google sheet, but it is nice to know that there is a mathematical model behind you and is going to support you on your Hyperroll games. Now I'd like to say a massive thank you if you've watched this video this far. I know it is so much more technical than the previous videos I've made, but if you made it this far, let me know in the comments below when you normally get knocked out in Hyperroll. Let's see if we can make this model a bit more efficient. But for now, as always, I'll see you in the arena.